Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We are on Fatal Files with Elle. We're going to be talking about Jake and Rebecca Haro. They are currently in the middle of their court hearing. They took a break for lunch, but it should be resuming, or it should have already resumed. There's a couple of things that we already know about it. They have officially been charged with the unaliving of their son, Emmanuel Haro. So there was a complaint that was filed, and also there's a recommended bond for $1 million. So a couple of things that we can go over as we wait for the rest of the hearing to take place. If no more updates come out, before we get off, then we'll talk about it again tomorrow. But there is an official complaint that has been filed. They have been officially charged. There's two charges that they have been filed: malice murder and falsifying a police report. It also seems like police has kind of nailed down a time that they believe that baby Emmanuel has went missing. So we're going to go over the part of the complaint that has been posted. This is count one. It says the undersigned, under penalty of perjury upon information and beliefs, declares that the above named defendants, Jake Mitchell Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro, committed a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Subdivision A, a felony, in that on or about August 5th through and including August 14th in the county of Riverside, state of California, the defendants did willfully and unlawfully unalive baby doe EH, a human being. Not sure why they're referring to Emmanuel as baby doe, but they do have his initials there, so I'm not really sure. But one thing, I was watching Benny Politan earlier, and he pointed out the August 5th, and he said that makes him believe that there is some sort of evidence that the baby was alive on August 4th, that maybe there's been witnesses to say, yes, we seen the baby August 4th, but August, so Vinnie Politan said that the fact that they're starting with August 5th makes him believe that there's witnesses that saw the baby prior to that date, which is why they're going with that date and then through August 14th. But I'm not a lawyer in this, so I really don't know, if there's any significance to that date. If they just threw that date out there. Like, I would have to assume there's some sort of significance to the date, but I don't know. I could be completely off base here, but when Vinnie Politan said it, it made sense to me, and I was like, okay. All right, so let's go. Why did I just take that off? Bear with me, guys. Okay. So here is, if you can see here on the top, it says cash bond recommended, $1 million. So yeah, I guess they're recommending $1 million bond, which I would not assume they would be able to go that bond, but that's just me assuming. I'm not sure. So it says Superior Court of California, County of Riverside. And that might be what it is now, that he was seen on August 4th. So maybe that's why they started with August 5th. From what Vinnie Politan said, that's the way that it sounds like. They may have talked to witnesses that saw him up until, the 4th, but not after the 4th. But this was in San Bernardino County, but it's been switched to Riverside. I've heard people talking about that as well, that Riverside is now picking this up. So it says Jake Mitchell Haro, booking number, Rebecca Haro, booking number, and it says count one. The undersigned, under penalty of perjury. We already read that. Hold on. So this is where it says they willfully and unlawfully unalived baby doe EH, a human being. Very confused why they're referring to him as baby H. I don't know. And I don't know why every one of these that I could find was a little hard to read, but this is what we got. So count two, that the above named defendants, Jake and Rebecca, committed a violation of Penal Code Section 1485 subdivision, a misdemeanor, in that on or about August 14th in the county of Riverside, state of California, The defendants did unwillfully and unlawfully report to a police officer, deputy sheriff, and a member of the California Highway Patrol that a felony and a misdemeanor had been committed, knowing the report to be false. So this is a misdemeanor charge to lie to the police, which I feel like that a felony and a misdemeanor had been committed, knowing the report to be false. So that a kidnapping had happened. But yeah, I think that's a misdemeanor, which I feel like when you lie to the police, especially depending on what the lie is, I think it should be a felony, some of them, especially if it's concerning a child. That's just my opinion. 1109 notice pursuant to section 1109 of the evidence code, evidence of the defendant's commission of other acts of DV may be admissible at trial in a criminal action in which the defendant is/are accused of an offense involving DV. The people hereby give notice of the people's intent to admit evidence of prior acts of DV pursuant to Evidence Code Section 1109. This incident include the prior incident described in the police report, chronological report, and our tapes already provided, and other alleged incidences of abuse, which will provide as they are obtained by the prosecution. I'm wondering if that means if they are like putting them on notice that his history will be brought up against him as well. His history with DV against children. Marcy's Law. So information contained in the reports being distributed as discovery in this case may contain confidential information protected by Marcy's Law. And the amendments to the California Constitution, Article 1, Section 28, any victims in any above referenced charges is entitled to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse. It may be unlawful for defendants, defense counsel, and any other person acting on behalf of the defendants to use any information contained in the reports to locate or harass any victims or the victim's family, or to disclose any information that is otherwise privileged and confidential by law. And then discovery request pursuant to Penal Code Section 1054.5, subdivision B, the people are hereby informally requesting that defense counsel provide discovery to the people as required by Penal Code Section 1054.3. And then it says, I declare under penalty of perjury upon the information and belief under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. So that's the complaint that was filed. I was not familiar with Marcy's Law. I didn't know what that was. So I looked that up to see what it is. Marcy's Law, also known as the Victims Bill of Rights Act of 2008, is a California state constitutional amendment and related legislation that expands the rights of crime victims within the state's criminal and juvenile justice systems. It was named after Marcy Ann Nicholas, who was unalived by her ex-boyfriend. It grants victims a range of rights, including the right to be treated with fairness and respect, to be protected from the defendant, and to be notified of court proceedings. So this one kind of threw me for a loop because I'm like, okay, well, the victim here is the baby, Emmanuel. So why would they bring up Marcy's Law if the victim is, believed to be deceased, right? Which made me wonder, and this is just me going out on a limb here, and maybe, I don't know, the fact that they're bringing up Marcy's Law when they believe the victim to be deceased makes me wonder if Rebecca has, told investigators that she is the victim of DV and that her husband has abused her, and that was why she didn't come forward, that she was scared. Because that makes sense. I started doing a little bit of research into that as to how Marcy's Law could apply to this case, considering the victim, which it could also apply to the victim's family, so Emmanuel's family, right? So I looked it up to see, like, okay, if she is now claiming to the police, well, he abuses me and I was scared, could that also apply here? So it could be a possible reason that they could be using Marcy's Law based off what I put together. But here's some more stuff that I came across about Marcy's Law. Let's see. So Marcy's Law is usually about protecting the rights of the victims and their families. Marcy's Law is the Victim Bill of Rights that many states have adopted. So it started in California, but now it's been adopted by other states. Um, Specific provisions vary uh, depending on the state, but it generally ensures that victims of the crime are, in the case of a homicide, the surviving family members of the victim have certain rights in the criminal justice process. So it could be even Emmanuel's family, like his aunt, his grandmother. But I don't know. I feel like they're using this for Rebecca. I feel like Rebecca's going to come out to say that Jake DV'd her, and that's why this is being implemented in the complaint. I could be wrong. Um, so, in a case where parents are being charged with the unaliving of their child, the complaint might mention Marcy's Law because the baby is the direct victim, but since the child is deceased, the next of kin, for example, the grandparents, aunts, uncles, or legal guardians, become the victim's representatives under Marcy's Law. It can also be used to secure victim rights. Prosecutors often reference Marcy's Law to ensure the court recognizes that family members have the right to be notified of hearings, be heard at certain proceedings like bail hearings, sentencing, plea deals, receive protection from harassment or intimidation, request privacy protection like redacting, identifying details from public records. For procedural clarity, it may be included in the complaint to formally note that the victim's surviving relatives are entitled to these protections so the court and both parties are aware. Now, in regards to Rebecca herself, it says Marcy's Law applies to any crime victim, not just the homicide victim. So if Rebecca had told investigators that Jake, the father, was abusive towards her, uh, with DV threats, anything that could be considered abuse, that she is also a victim in the case, independent of the baby's death. So prosecutors may reference Marcy's Law in the complaint to acknowledge Rebecca's status as a victim of DV and to ensure that she is granted her rights as a victim. So notification, protection, the right to be heard, etc. All the things we mentioned a minute ago. Even while she is also charged in connection with the baby's death. Dual roles sometimes happen. So in certain cases, one person can be both a co-defendant charged with failing to protect the child, neglect, or complicity in the homicide, and a victim. So if they're, the intimate partner, or they have been influenced by their partner's actions due to being scared for their safety. Courts and prosecutors sometimes note Marcy's Law in those situations to formally recognize that even if she's accused of having something to do with it, she may also qualify for victim protections if the abuse allegations are substantiated. So, yeah, if she confessed or alleged that Jake had abused her and she was living in fear, prosecutors may have included Marcy's Law in the filings to secure her rights as a DV victim, even while still pursuing charges against her in relation to the baby's death. That made the most sense to me, but like I said, I could be off base here. But there's a lot of now let me see if this is updated. Because they're online, it still says, murder with malice. It's still not showing a bail amount, but there were some people saying it was recommended, but then I did see some people saying that they have been given $1 million bail. I'm not sure. I guess we'll continue to wait. Now, over the weekend, Jake was out on the side of the freeway with investigators, what we thought was looking for baby Emmanuel. They never stated specifically what they were doing there. There's been so many theories. And honestly, I've seen people say, maybe their phones pinged there. Maybe their phones pinged on that location. So they brought Jake out to see if he would lead them somewhere. I've seen people say, well, maybe they brought Jake out there so word would get back to Rebecca and she would be scared and she would turn on him. Some people believe that he is leading them on a wild goose chase, So whatever, we just know that the baby wasn't located there. So it really calls into question, well, what were they doing there? Because if he led them there, it seems like he would have some knowledge of the baby being there, right? But the baby wasn't located. The baby hasn't been found yet. But while he was out searching for the baby, allegedly, Rebecca did an interview from jail. She did an interview where she said she is innocent, that she still says the baby was kidnapped from her, and that she wants to be out looking for her baby. We're gonna watch a little bit of News Nation's Brian Enton. I like him, and we're gonna listen to what he
In her
has to say
interview,
about it.
Rebecca Haro called Jake a good dad and said he would never hurt.
She called Jake a good dad and said he would never hurt the baby after what he did to his daughter.
In her interview, Rebecca Haro called Jake a good dad and said he would never hurt a baby. There's her new mugshot, by the way. A lot of people zeroing in on both of those black eyes. And also, how strange that she's still talking from jail. She talked to the media before. Everyone was suspicious of her. Now she's talking to reporters from the jail, trying to stand up for her husband. As we've reported, he was convicted in 2023 of an act of willful child cruelty 5 years earlier. It's an awful case. The victim was even younger than Emmanuel, just 10 weeks old, who suffered permanent brain damage. Jake and Rebecca also have a 2-year-old daughter who is now in the care of Child Protective Services. Every single day, it seems like this case just gets more and more disturbing. My News Nation colleague, Nancy Liu, joins me live from outside that couple's home, just outside Palm Springs. Nancy, they brought the dad out to search this weekend in the jail jumpsuit, and still nothing. No sign of baby Emmanuel.
Yeah, remarkable developments in this case, Brian, but the bottom line is, where is baby Emmanuel? We are outside the Haro family home. This is in Cabazon, which is about 15 miles west of Palm Springs. We can tell you this house is deserted. Obviously, mom and dad, they are now in jail. The 2-year-old child is now in custody of Child Protective Services. And we understand that Jake's elderly mother is now staying somewhere else. I've been poking around this neighborhood, talking with people who live around here. They don't know this family. And the one woman said, you know, she's only seen the mom one time in 4 years. But on this side, Brian, I want to show you the memorial
Wow.
that is just growing and growing. It's
One
about
time in
20
4 years.
yards wide. You and I, we've covered a lot of tragedy, and this memorial, it is significant. So many signs, you know, asking for justice for baby Emmanuel. Where is baby Emmanuel? This is obviously a case which has touched so many throughout the region. So many people had believed that initial story of the baby being kidnapped. Just a horrible story. The mom with the black eye claiming that, you know, she was changing the baby's diaper, and when she came to, the baby was gone. And of course, now the sheriff's department saying this is a case of murder. However, there is no body despite an extensive search for remains, Brian.
And there were also no tears, Nancy. You remember?
No tears, no tears. And as far as how many kids lived at home, I'm not going to pretend to know that answer because I've heard conflicting statements with that as well. I saw somebody said that Jake's oldest son should be a key witness because he lived at the house. But from my understanding, it was just Jake, Rebecca, the 2-year-old, and little Emmanuel. I don't know that for sure. From my understanding, the son that he had that they were at his football practice did not live there, lived with his mom. So if anybody can yeah, it was just 2 to my knowledge. They claimed the daughter he hurt was an accident. He dropped her in the sink while bathing her, so maybe that's why it was a lesser sentence. Uh, yeah, but there was so much evidence showing prior injuries. This 10-week-old baby had 6 ribs that were on the mend when rushed to the hospital with more injuries. This 10-week-old baby, you know, had evidence showing that they have been hurt previously and that these things were healing in the healing stages. So I'm just, I don't understand how you don't get some time for that. I remember when my son broke his leg. I mean, we were investigated by CPS over this because he was climbing a fence, and I had just walked back in the house. I was in the middle of cooking dinner and being outside with the kids, and his older siblings were out there with him, and I walked back in to stir the food and walked right back out. And as I was walking back out, I saw him. He had just climbed up to the top of the fence, and I yelled like, "No!" And me startling him caused him to fall. Honestly, if I wouldn't have said anything, if I just would have walked down there and helped him over, all would have been well. But I got scared and startled him, and he fell. And the way that he broke his leg was in a way that they said that it happens with cases in child abuse cases, and it's basically where they just take their leg and twist it until it snaps. That's what it was, the top of his leg, and it snapped. But CPS was called, and they x-rayed every part of his body. They x-rayed every part of my son's body to make sure there was no healing injuries, previous injuries that were on the man or that had been broken, that had healed, that had not been reported or anything like that. So that's what happened with this 10-week-old baby. Yeah, now that's what happened with this 10-week-old baby. When they brought this baby in with injuries, and he said, "Oh, I dropped her on the side of the bathtub." They x-rayed every part of this baby's body and found, and it was not just the 6 recovering ribs, but there was like what all was it? There was more injuries. Let me see. Let me find an article where it talks about the injuries, that because I am shocked that he did not really get any time for that. So shocked. Oh, I haven't heard anything about that, J. Marie, but that will be interesting, and it could be why they refer to the baby as Baby Doe if there's no birth certificate on file. I'm not sure. But this is the little baby. New details emerge about the injuries a missing baby sister suffered years before the baby disappeared. The sister of missing 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro was badly injured at 10 weeks to the point of no longer being able to see, talk, or walk. Baby Emmanuel was reported missing August 14th. His mother told the police that he was taken from the parking lot of the Big Five sporting goods store in Yucaipa by a stranger who knocked her unconscious while she was changing his diaper. Warrants have been issued for cell phones belonging to Emmanuel's parents, Rebecca and Jake Haro, as deputies continued their search for him. They have also confiscated the vehicle as well. So Abby Blabby told Banfield on Wednesday that Emmanuel's sister Promise, that Jake, which is Jake Haro's daughter from a previous marriage, she is now 7, was practically killed by the injuries she suffered as an infant. Escobar spoke with Promise's adoptive mom, a cousin to Jake's ex-wife. She renamed the girl Promise Faith. They were told that they didn't even think she would live like a week after this happened, but they have done everything they can for this little girl to keep her going. She can't walk, she can't talk, she's blind. It's just horrible. But I mean, she said that Promise is her miracle baby, and she really is. It's amazing that she survived that at 10 weeks old. Jake Haro pled guilty to willful child cruelty after Promise was admitted to the hospital with broken bones in 2018. Per the Daily Breeze, an affidavit citing comments from the doctor at Loma Linda University Medical Center found Promise had an acute fractured rib, healing fractures of 6 ribs, a skull fracture, a brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a healing fractured leg bone. Can you guys even begin to take in the pain that 10-month-old child must have been in during these times where they were hurt and had to just sit at home and heal? When my son broke his leg, I remember him just crying so much that he went into shock. Like he cried, he screamed for a little bit, and then he just went into shock. He wasn't screaming anymore because he was in pain. We rushed him to a hospital where he was immediately given medication to help and to he was stabilized as far as the pain that he was in and the leg. But this child was not even brought to the hospital during a lot of a healing fractured a leg bone, a skull fracture. Yeah, Nat says, "I've broken ribs and just breathing is very painful." Exactly. And, this is a baby, a 10-week-old baby that's, laying down the whole time or being picked up. So, you pick a baby up, what do you pick them up underneath their arms, and imagine them with broken ribs and somebody's picking up on them. The pain that this man has inflicted and caused on babies is disgusting, it's disturbing, and he deserves to be put to death, in my opinion. An officer wrote, quoting a doctor, "The combination of the above findings in a pre-mobile infant in the absence of a plausible history of significant trauma to explain the injuries is indicative of abuse head trauma, child physical abuse, and nutritional neglect." So not only that, which is horrible, but nutritional neglect as well. Nutritional neglect as well. So they had reason to believe that they were not even feeding this child the way that this child needed to be fed. I don't know. I just hope the judge that presided over this case takes a look back and maybe learns a hard lesson. I mean, I know when you're sentencing people, I'm not a judge, but I know when you're sentencing people, you go by like this point system with most things, and if they don't have a prior history, you have to take that into account. If they are acknowledge what they did, if they plead guilty, if they seem remorseful, all those things play a factor. But at the end of the day, he almost killed her. I mean, he took her life. She will never live a normal life. She will never, have babies, get married, and live a normal life. So he took that from her. The outlet also reported Jay Caro told the police his sister opened his iPad to a webpage that read, "How to feed a baby with broken ribs." He denied to the officer that he had used the iPad at the time of the search, which occurred before Promise arrived at the hospital in 2018. She feels that justice wasn't served the first time, Escobar said of Promise's adoptive mom. She said that when she first heard the news story, it just broke her to pieces. She immediately had a feeling, as I feel most people have. I mean, the story just really doesn't make very much sense. I think this is a video. That's an ad, but give it a second. Yes. Yes, she was brought in at 10 weeks old with a broken rib, but they discovered those other injuries were in healing stages, so they happened before that.
Of a desperate search for a 7-month-old baby boy named Emmanuel Haro, and the details that we've just learned about the baby's father and his criminal past, absolutely hair-raising. The number of children that have been moved out of the Haro home into the custody of others is nothing short of alarming. Let me take you back for a moment. Baby Emmanuel was reported missing last Thursday. His mother, Rebecca Haro, claimed that a stranger approached her from behind, said, "Hola," and then knocked her unconscious. She says when she woke up, baby Emmanuel was gone, right there in the parking lot, gone. But according to investigators, Rebecca's story didn't add up all the way. Rebecca refused a lie detector test, and both she and her husband have stopped cooperating with the police, the authorities say. To be clear, there have been no charges filed against Jake or Rebecca Haro. And
No, this is
Jake's
old.
attorney insisted right here on this show last night that his client, Jake Haro, is cooperating, despite that statement from the police suggesting otherwise. Tonight it is Jake's past, however, that is becoming a lot more worrisome. Yesterday we learned about his felony child photos of the child, and I should tell Promise was left blind. Promise was left unable to walk. Promise was left unable to talk and unable to swallow due to strangulation. We are told from this cousin that Promise has 3% brain function, that Promise needs a feeding tube, and that Promise will need round-the-clock care for the rest of her life. So let's just contemplate this as you see these pictures. Jake Haro, who beat this child, received 6 months in jail and probation afterwards. The same cousin who adopted this little girl, Promise, also took in Jake's oldest son, who she says was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. That child was named after his father, Jake, but the cousin also renamed the little boy. His new name is Carlos. And now this same cousin who has taken in 2 of Jake Haro's children, one that Jake Haro beat into a lifelong condition, another that was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. Now this cousin is caring for a 3rd child removed from the Haro home just this week. A 2-year-old child was taken out of Jake and Rebecca's care.
So that's just a little. I've shown that before, but I wanted to show that again just to give people an idea of like what he was capable of, what he is capable of. And that is what he did to a 10-week-old baby. I mean, innocent 10-week-old baby. What would drive anybody to do that to a 10-week-old baby? To me, it seems like he had no patience for children, did not need to have kids, and did not know, couldn't handle, a child, maybe, a baby crying or keeping him up at night. He didn't know how to handle that. And I mean, that could be off base here. I don't know what would cause anybody to do that, but it seems to me like he didn't have patience for children. There was something else I wanted to show you guys, but now I can't remember. So he talked about her speaking out from jail. I don't know who she spoke to. I just keep seeing all these articles about, Rebecca Haro speaks out from jail. I don't know who she spoke to. Don't know if it was filmed, recorded, what. We know that she said she didn't think that her husband Jake was innocent, that he wouldn't hurt a baby, that he wouldn't hurt any baby. This is an article on it. Emmanuel Haro's mother, Rebecca Haro, is maintaining her innocence. Days after the missing 7-month-old's mom and father, Jake Haro, was arrested, August 22nd, on suspicions of murder, Rebecca issued a statement from jail, maintaining her belief that her baby was kidnapped. Mind you, video footage tells us otherwise. Rebecca, who's 41, said, "I will not give up. I will not give up on my baby. I want to be out looking for my baby." The case of Emmanuel's disappearance has gripped the nation since Rebecca reported that her son has been kidnapped in the parking lot of the Big Five sporting goods store in Yucaipa, August 14th. "I was going to get the diaper and somebody said, 'Hola,' and I didn't see nothing since," she told KTLA5 on August 15th, alleging she was knocked unconscious and subsequently came to with a significant black eye. I woke up right here on the floor and didn't see Emmanuel." In the days following Rebecca's initial report, however, authorities found what they believed to be inconsistencies in her story and charged Jake and Rebecca with murder as the search for Emmanuel's remains continues. I can't find any investigators were assisted by cadaver dogs. Jake Haro was at a location with detectives, but I can't find any article that says everything that she said. And if she spoke out, was that she only made 3 sentences? I don't know. Jake, who also shares another 2-year-old daughter with Rebecca, was previously convicted with the intentional child cruelty charge in June 2023. Oh, so he was on probation. Jake was on probation, and he violated his probation and had a court hearing coming up for that because he was in possession of a firearm. On probation for what he did to his daughter, gets caught with a firearm, violates probation, and had a court hearing coming up for that when all this transpired. Rebecca had slammed the idea that Jake would be involved in Emmanuel's disappearance. "He is a good dad," Rebecca told the Southern California News Group on August 24th. "He would never hurt a baby. He would never hurt a baby." I don't know. If somebody was accusing my husband of hurting our child, I think I would just say he would never hurt our baby. He would never hurt our kid. He loves our babies. I don't know. He would never hurt a baby. Well, we know that maybe because she can't say he would never hurt our baby or his baby because he already has. Oh, I remember. Also, on the TIA, I think that's what it's called, had talked about a constituent of his that runs this store, this discount store, seeing Rebecca and Rebecca already having this black eye. Let me see. Okay, let me see what this is because somebody just sent me a link to something.
Couple more interviews. Go from there.
Can y'all hear this?
Ahmed said, he was reprimanded for speaking out in court. That's what I was mentioning while they were in court. That if they take in phones, if they try and do streams, if they try and do anything, they will be not allowed back in. It's like they didn't give him one more chance.
So this is somebody there at the court
Said
hearing.
to Rebecca. So he'll be let back in again, but they're very serious. It's court, and they usually don't give you a second chance. So he should count his blessings. I'm going to turn you all back around so you can see what's going on over here.
Can y'all hear him?
So let's see if I can get one person. So how was it? Are they going to?
Huh?
How was it in there?
Very quick.
Yeah.
Probably lasted 3 minutes. They said, we'll be back September 4th. They didn't even enter
That it would be
pleas.
something like that. So. Oh, they didn't?
They didn't enter pleas. And I've never understood that because everyone pleads not guilty. It doesn't matter.
They're not going to plead guilty.
It doesn't matter if they caught you red-handed, the gun smoking, and bloody knife. Everyone pleads not guilty. It's just that's just how the way it goes. So why they couldn't have just go not guilty? Okay, see you
Do you care if I
later.
put you on the live?
Huh?
I'm live. No, you care if I put or no?
Oh no, go ahead. You can do whatever you want. So.
So this is Brian Rocos from the Press Enterprise, kind of giving us telling us what happened inside. So.
Yeah, well, what happened was not very much. The arraignment did not happen. The Haros did not enter pleas today, so the arraignment was postponed until September 4th. The Deputy Public Defender, Brian Cosgrove, came out and explained that he had not seen any police reports, any evidence. So that's why the arraignment was postponed. Now, why they couldn't have just said not guilty, Your Honor. We'll see you later. I don't know, but that's,
court's always
that happens from time to time.
Yeah. So what's going on with Jake's attorney? Did they say is he not his attorney anymore, or
the public defender said that that office is going to be representing
both of them, right?
Both of them. There's going to be someone in the public defender's office who represents one of them, and then there's because the public defender's office, think of it as a law office,
right?
And a law office can't represent two defendants in the same case. So conflict, it gets one of them will get farmed out to a private attorney who's a part of what's called a conflict panel, and so they'll get a very good.
Will
attorney.
They work together still, the attorneys, or no?
It depends on the defendants. Yeah. I mean, if both maintain a united front. Yeah. That's one thing, the attorneys might work.
They turn on each other.
They might work in concert. If they turn on each other, then
obviously
maybe not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things are just getting started. Hopefully soon, the courts will release what's an arrest declaration, which is a sworn statement that the sheriff's investigator wrote to a judge to get an arrest warrant. They have to lay out the case in there. They can't just say, well, we think they murdered Emmanuel.
Right.
You have to put
There's got to be
some concrete information. Here's why we think it. So,
okay, cool. Well, hey, you're good at this, man. Maybe next time I'll grab you again and you can give us another update.
Yeah, that's fine. The case is just getting started.
Yeah, it's gonna
These
be long.
cases take a long time.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to be over in a month or 6 months or even a year.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
That's with every case.
I'd imagine it's gonna dry out. And I can't imagine they're going to let all these people in next time. Do you think?
They'll probably won't
Media,
have that,
I think.
Probably won't have that many people next time.
Probably not.
You get the zoo today, and,
and then it kind of,
and then people will move on to something else.
Yeah. So okay, cool. Well, thank you.
Sure thing.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day.
And who are you?
I'm Johnny.
Oh, okay. Johnny Lucas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I am terrible with faces.
I am too.
I'm just the worst.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
So, all right.
Take care. Yeah. Anytime.
Have a good day. Okay. I'll see you next time, man. All right. So that was Brian Rocos. He is with the Press Enterprise. So he is very good at what he does. So anytime we can get him to give us a breakdown is something that we should take advantage of. He said that he would give us a good update. He will probably be in there next time. He'll probably be in there every time. He's one of the most well-known local Riverside reporters. So I can't imagine he wouldn't be in there. I'm going to try and get in there too. I won't be able to take my camera, obviously, but I'm okay not going in. I mean, it's cool and everything, but being out here is, good too. I grab everybody and talk to a lot of people, so we'll see. All right, let's see if I can get one more. Yeah, I don't think anybody else is. All right, we're gonna walk back to my car because I wasn't planning on being here this long, so I only paid for a short amount of time. But hey, before you all can stay with me and we'll walk back to my vehicle. I appreciate you all for sticking with me. Like I said, follow me. I will try and keep you up to date on everything as much as I can. And so you all can be a part of everything. I do cover a ton of stories, so this isn't the only thing I'm covering right now. Hold on. This is not the only story I'm covering right now. This is one of many. So if you follow my YouTube, if you follow my TikTok, if you follow my Instagram, y'all know that I cover a lot of stuff. So in the last couple days, I've covered shootings, quadruple fatal car crash. All those videos are up on my YouTube and on my TikTok. So any of my stuff that I cover, check them out, subscribe, and that way you're always aware when I'm going to go live or I'm going to be somewhere. But yeah, so this is not the only thing I'm covering. So I'm not as 100% dedicated as everybody. I am dedicated. I'm not going to be, everywhere that there's something happening. There's a lot of stuff going on. I've been doing this for a long time. This is going to be a long, drawn-out case. And so we'll be here for the big things. We'll be here for the big things. So, and that's, yeah, check out my YouTube, though. I did go to a quadruple fatal traffic collision a couple days ago in the city of Temecula. There's a really good twist coming out about that story that nobody really knows about yet. But one person was pulled out of a car that was on fire. 3 people in the vehicle died. One was pulled out. The driver was pulled out of the vehicle. He was rescued by a former member of the.
I was just going to see if anything else would be said. I just kind of wanted to give him time to get off. I didn't want him to run into somebody else there and get another interview and us miss out on that since he is at the location of the courthouse. I'm glad that we caught that little interview between him and the guy from Press Enterprise because he gave a lot of good information. Apparently, they were formally charged with malice, murder, and then falsifying police reports, but they did not enter into a plea. They did not enter into a guilty or not guilty plea. They postponed the arraignment until September 4th, and the public defender came out to say that he has not seen any of the reports of the evidence yet, which is why they were able to get a postponement for the arraignment. And it looks like potentially Jake Haro's attorney may have dropped him potentially because the public defender's office came out to say that they would be representing one, the they would be representing them. But because the public defender's office is like one law office, they would have to basically like they would have to send out, like, say the public defender's office is going to represent Jake. Well, they would have to send Rebecca out to another attorney's office, not that one, because they cannot both be represented by the same firm.
The twist to the story, though.
Let's see if there's anything else that he's going to say about
Hold
this
on, I'm going to
case.
throw my tripod inside and then conclude. Let me just get ready here. Okay, so really quick before we end the live, I'm going to go back over here to the courthouse. We are across the street from the courthouse of the Superior Court. This is where everybody's at. So like I said earlier, I would imagine that, you know, the next couple court hearings, they will probably limit who goes inside. They will cut that down to just media, probably eventually, but we'll see. Looks like everybody's getting ready to take off. I'm going to take off. A lot of other things to cover, but I appreciate you all for being here. Follow my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube. There should be links for them in my TikTok profile. I appreciate you all for being here and showing some support, for all your gifts, for just kind of spending the time with me. So we got that awesome exclusive interview with On the Tira, who I said is a good friend of mine.
Missed that one.
So we'll get that again next time, and then also with Brian Rocos, who is a very popular crime reporter here in Riverside, California. So we will keep bringing you those things. So have a good day, everybody. I appreciate your support. Be safe out there, and share the live and follow me. Let's cover this case together. So, all right, y'all. Have a good day.
All right. So, looks like, I mean, they were formally charged, but arraignment will take place September 4th. I'm still not seeing where a bond was. I don't know if I just pulled it again to see if a bond was showing up on the website. Still no bond showing up. There's no bail amount. I know that was what was going to be recommended. Let me see if anything else is confirming. Which may be because they didn't put in a plea. Jake and Rebecca Haro, formally charged with murder and falsifying police reports. The prosecutor mentioned it at the podium after the hearing. Where can we see that at, Osman? Do you know where we can see that at? Let me see if I can find something. Let me see if I can find that. Press conference. Let me see. Still not seeing any sort of hearing. The 1 million, I seen that was going to be recommended, but I didn't know if that was actually, if they actually said it. But I wonder where I can find that hearing at that press release at that conference or whatever.
father accused of murdering their 7-month-old son will face a judge in California. Jake and Rebecca Haro, arrested on Friday at their home in Riverside County, are now likely facing charges of felony murder and malice. Those charges haven't been officially filed yet, however. The baby boy, Emmanuel Haro, missing now for nearly 2 weeks, is presumed dead, according to police. At first, his mother had claimed a man attacked her outside of a store while she was changing Emmanuel's diaper and then knocked her unconscious.
I was gonna get the diaper and somebody said hola, and
I have to keep watching
I didn't see
that.
nothing since. I woke up right here on the floor, and I didn't see Emmanuel.
Whoever took my son, please return him. We just want him back. We won't do anything to you. We just give us our son. Just keep him safe. Don't hurt him. Make sure you feed him, change him. Please.
Emmanuel's father joining police in the search on Sunday, but so far no sign of Emmanuel. People in the community shaken by this news, and that the parents are now suspects.
I'm going to
Joining us
check
now,
San
trial attorney
Bernardino
and
County Sheriff's
Northwestern law
Department's
professor
Facebook, if
Andrew
anything has been
Stoltman.
posted.
What a tragic and horrible case this is, now knowing that police believe this little boy did not survive whatever he endured. What evidentiary details
Riverside.
will likely be part of this initial court appearance today?
Probably not too much today is going to be laid out. I think at a minimum right now, they have inconsistent statements by the parents, stuff that really just doesn't make a lot of sense. The police, of course, are still actively looking for the body. That will reveal a whole heck of a lot with respect to what happened to this poor soul. But what a tragic case all the way around. When you see those
Nothing on
interviews
Riverside
from
either.
the parents, it's just disgusting. It's repugnant. It's so sad.
And I'm wondering, Andrew, if those pleas for help from the public to find Emmanuel, the statements from the parents, may come back to haunt them in court.
Oh, absolutely. Look, California has a moratorium on the death penalty, but these are the sorts of cases where you impose it. You have a child, you have the parents lying with the crocodile tears. And look, we don't know precisely what happened, but what we do know is the father has a 2018 conviction for wanton and willful cruelty to a child. I don't think these are particularly good human beings. I think they're going to try real hard to find that body. I think the body will tell us so much more with respect to what happened.
It makes you wonder why this child was in their custody to begin with, certainly the father with that kind of criminal background. I'm wondering, with that criminal past and what we know about that now, is that enough for probable cause in a case like this?
Don't think it is. I think we are still seeing a really active investigation. I know the police are looking at as many video surveillance camera angles as they can. The mother had such a ridiculous story that didn't pass the red face test. She, of course, claimed that she got hit over the head and was rendered unconscious. Good news is now most of these businesses have video cameras. There are Ring cameras, possible cell phone video. They are still very clearly piecing this case together. I'll tell you one other thing, too. I think that the police, by charging both of them, are hoping that one parent flips and provides testimony against the other parent. It's a real common tactic that prosecutors and police use. I think that's what we're seeing here.
I don't think you're going to find a lot of sympathy for either parent, but in this case, Andrew, the mother has a black eye. If she is the victim of domestic violence and was coerced somehow to say certain things, how does that play in court?
Absolutely. And if I'm her defense attorney, that's likely the angle that I am pursuing. She's going to portray herself as a victim. She's going to blame the husband. And we don't know what happened, but police will be very interested in hearing what they both have to say. I have a feeling, if you put a gun to my head, that would be my guess with respect to what's going to happen. And, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, what a tragic case. Andrew Stoltman, thank you for your time on this one. Also,
thank you for watching. Subscribe.
Oh, goodness. So apparently, like on the TIA, I was looking at X to see if there were any updates. Still not showing any like outlets, but you know, I may just not be looking in the right place, saying anything about the bonds being set. That's why I was hoping I could find short clip of the bail linked above. I don't, let me see. Thank you. Wait, you posted it in the chat? because I don't know if it actually posts to the chat. Hey, can one of my mods put in my email for Ozman to send it to my email? I'm gonna look on X to see if I can see it on X. If not, do you mind shooting it to my email? And how did I just get rid of that? All right. We're gonna go to latest just to make sure. Oh, that's actually pictures of them in court. Okay. Okay, so that's a picture of them from court. Look at him just laying back like he ain't even got no problems. I did read that. When investigators went into the house, there were no pictures of Emmanuel. Like any evidence that Emmanuel even existed in the house was gone. But I haven't seen that like confirmed anywhere. But I did read that as well. That would be very suspicious, like extremely suspicious. Let's see. Judge, is it George or yeah? C. Hernandez is the man that sentenced Jake Hard to 1 night in jail and 6 months to work release after he was convicted of willful cruelty to a child in 2023. Y'all, I just don't even know. Do the people that did tours of the house get in trouble for that? Oh my goodness, I would suppose that's trespass, and it's still it could be considered a crime scene. I would think. I don't know. I would find that should definitely be illegal. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Like while hearing what Jake did and the punishment that he got for his 10-week-old baby, my first thought was, who the heck was this judge? And how does he feel now? But doxing the judge and putting it all out there, that could potentially put him in some sort of danger. And at the end of the day, there was no way he could see into the future. He was just probably trying to do his job. I don't know why he did not give him more time. Amy Lee says, updating the Emmanuel Haro case, both Jake and Rebecca Haro had a criminal complaint filed by the DA where they've officially been charged with murder and are receiving an additional charge for filing a false police report. Bail is requested to be set at $1 million. So on the Tia,
so this is Murder by Nature podcast on TikTok. The link is in the description. And she's a local person that's out there. I've seen her posts. I thought they were very insightful. Some of her things that she's posted. Let me see.
Okay, I wanted to jump on and talk about Rebecca and her family. So Rebecca is the daughter of Mary. So the lady with the green shirt and that like white hair. She is the daughter of Mary. She is an adopted daughter of Mary. I'm not going to go over why she was adopted. She's just adopted. Her brother James is also adopted, and James and Rebecca are not biologically siblings. They were both adopted into this home.
Sean, you just freaked me out because I see my name pop up and I didn't type that. That's Sean's opinion. Called accountability. Let these judges let child abusers off way too easy all the time. The judge should be held responsible. Sean's opinion. I'm tired of these judges locking people up for a decade over marijuana and then slapping child abusers on the wrist. That is very true. That's true. I get that. But you freaked me out because I'm like, what is going on here?
So I want to make that very clear. From kind of all the conversation, you guys want to know, why were they estranged? From what I'm being told is that when Rebecca and Jake first started dating, there was red flags that was seen from the family, and they confronted her on it. She immediately got very defensive. It was a whole argument. Everything blew up, and they stopped communicating. She left the home. She moved in with Jake. Now, in March, there was a family emergency that happened. That family emergency is what brought Rebecca back into contact with her family. That is what happened. That is the story. Now, Her ex-husband, Edgar, he went on and said that he didn't know about the baby, that he hasn't talked to her, he didn't know she was married. Edgar and Rebecca were together for quite some time. They have 2 daughters. And from what I'm being told is that marriage ended due to infidelity on Rebecca's side. Her eldest daughter stopped talking to her, but her youngest daughter from that marriage is confirmed that she is talking to her mother. I don't know if she's talking to her now after she's been charged, but that Thursday night and that Friday, she was in communication with her mother. So I want to make sure that that's very clear, because I took what he said as they're not in contact with her for both. I am coming on here to correct that from what I'm being told is that she was there Thursday night.
But my thing is like, okay, the ex said he had no idea that Rebecca went on to get married and have more children. But you have 2 daughters. One is estranged from her mom, but one is not estranged from her mom and talks to her mom, but never, like the mom never said, oh, by the way, I got married. Oh, by the way, you have siblings. And then that child relay that to the dad. Hey, so mom had more kids. We have siblings. That is very strange to me. But, the world that I live in, my family talks about everything to each other. That's what I knew it was Shine on the first post.
At Big 5.
Right. Definitely different.
Now, I know everyone is upset because I came out and said something for the family. But for me, I'm going to do what I feel is right and what I'm being told and what I feel is genuine and authentic. And I'm going to share that. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that we find this baby and they get what's coming to them. So I know someone said the timeline of the bruise does matter. If that information comes out or that video comes out and it's clear, like you are seeing me, like clear, you can see if I had a black eye and you see a black eye and I see a black eye, I will take that back to the family and be like, what happened? What is going on? I will own that. But again, this is what's being stated. This is Rebecca's mugshot from what they released. Do what you want, say what you want about it. I think she looks like she has no remorse. It looks like she was crying now. I have no remorse for this woman and what she did. And
Okay.
So everyone's asking where I read it, and I read it from this news article.
I'm going to address this once.
Okay. Somebody said, I know you're getting views and everything, but really, on the theater is who cares about this and who has the most information. Wow. I know you're getting views and everything, but really on the theater is who cares about this and who has the most information.
It's so weird.
Only.
Okay,
This
drama.
is not okay. I live in this town. I've been raised in this town. This affects me more than anyone in my comments right now, unless you live here. We have been...
Well, okay, I guess there's also some drama between creators. I don't know. That's wild. Anybody can cover this. Like, the more people covering it, the better. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is anybody mad that... So strange. Okay, yes, I did get the link. Thank you for sending me the link. I'm going to bring up what was sent to me by Ozman. Thank you so much, Ozman. Let me get that up really quickly.
Hi, good afternoon, Lauren and Lou, to both of you. Well, I've been in close contact with the DA's office, and they just filed those charges formally against Emmanuel Haro, that baby's parents. Both of them are now in jail. They're being held on $1 million bail each, so $2 million total. We know that arraignment is going forward at 1:30 this afternoon. That's going to be here at the Riverside Hall of Justice. Take a look at this, though. If you haven't seen this, both of them were arrested on Friday, as you see in this video. The parents of Emmanuel Haro, that 7-month-old baby, they were arrested at their Cabazon home. Court documents filed today reveal prosecutors believe the baby was murdered between August 5th and the 14th. That's new information. Up to 9 days before Rebecca claimed her baby was kidnapped from a Big 5 store parking lot in Yucaipa. The couple is also charged with filing a false police report on August 14th. That's the same day they reported the alleged kidnapping of their baby. The mother made an emotional public plea at the time for his return. even doing TV interviews. Baby Emmanuel and supporters today here by the Hall of Justice demand justice for that child.
I just know this what happened today.
So yeah, that was a news channel. I didn't even catch which news channel. He said that they were held on $1 million bail. I'm wondering, I'm still not seeing that updated on the website. It still says no bail. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to go so far to say, because I know it was requested. Definitely know it was requested that he be held on $1 million bail. That they be held on $1 million bail, but I haven't seen anything confirming. It could be the news guy heard it and is going with it, or maybe they have been. All right, let's see. Pictures emerging of alleged killers. Emmanuel Haro during arraignment. The arraignment for Jake and Rebecca was continued to September 4th. Both are represented by public defenders. Neither was asked to speak, and the proceedings lasted only a few minutes. No pleas were entered. I posted somebody's hiding him. Is that his life? His birthday was confirmed. His birthday is December 21st, 2024. That was confirmed. But yeah, there's been so much getting mixed up. That's why I'm trying to make sure I say, I don't know this for sure. I want to make sure I put it out there. Anything that I do say, if I don't know for sure, I'm going to make sure I let you guys know that, because there is so much, so many rumors out there. I mean, from the baby being found to Jake leaving them to the baby to Jake turning on Rebecca. There's been so much out there that we don't know, that it's very important to say, this is a rumor at this point. This is the theory at this point. And to say, when you do know something is fact, you can say, this is what we know is a fact. And anything else is just opinions or theories or rumors at this point. Yeah, finding the baby is the most important thing right now. It is true that a house on down the street from them did catch fire. That was a couple days before they were arrested, maybe 2 days before they were arrested. Let me make sure there's no more updates, and then we'll go ahead and we'll close this one out, just because we have been going for a while. And as of right now, the only thing that I would they didn't speak in court, didn't enter into a plea. Arraignment's been pushed off. And the site still shows no bond. So I don't know. That's really the only thing that I'm questioning at this point, if a bond was set. Yeah. Yeah, these YouTube, oh my goodness, these YouTube streets are two-faced. I know. Did you record that, Sean? See, that's what I was thinking too. Hold on. Let me look this up. Okay. Well, then we'll put a video out doing it. Let me is a bond set at arraignment. I don't know enough about getting in trouble to know. Okay. Yes, in most cases, bond or bail is set at the arraignment, though it depends on the charges and the judge's discretion. How it usually works in the U.S., an arraignment is the first court appearance where the defendant is formally informed of their charges. At the hearing, the judge typically decides on release conditions, whether the person is held without bail, released on their own recognizance, or required to post bond. For serious charges like murder, judges often set a very high bond or may even deny bond entirely if the law allows it. So in the Haro case, you mentioned it makes sense that a $1 million bond was set in arraignment. I'm asking ChatGPT, okay? So if the arraignment has been pushed off, then I'm going to assume no bond was set. They were formally charged, and the bond hearing has been pushed back. Because the public defender said he hasn't had time to go through any of the reports or anything. And then possibly like the arrest declaration. He hasn't had time to go through anything. So yeah, I'm assuming the bond has not been set, but it was first recommended for $1 million, $1 million each. But also, y'all know when I hit my 100K, we were going to do a giveaway, and one of the things we were going to give away was $100. And we do have a winner. So I'm going to put up a little video on my social media pages announcing the winner. Sean has been working on this all day for me. So we do have a winner that's won $100, someone that is subscribed to the channel. So we'll put up like a little video. Sean recorded the winner. So we'll put up like a little video, and I'm just going to have to ask this person to reach out to me so I can send them $100. Anyways, you guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to keep up with the situation. It looks like the next court hearing is September 4th. And if for some reason we do find out that they did receive a bond, I'll make a post to let you guys know. As of right now, I'm leaning towards the bond was not set. It was recommended, but due to the fact that they didn't even speak, the arraignment was postponed, I'm going to go with maybe that's going to be, the bond will be discussed at their next hearing. But anyways, you guys, make sure you follow this account to keep up with this case. Also follow me over on Elle Bee, where we keep up with all things reality television. My husband, Sean, has his own page as well called 10 Piece. Go check him out. I'm going to try to make sure I get all the links in the description box below. But yeah, leave me your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And keep your eye out. I'm going to make a post on Elle Bee page, my Facebook, and my Instagram announcing the winner. I'll try to put it everywhere so the winner can see it and contact me. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you also, I don't know if it allows you, but hype me up after this. At the end, you can go in the comments and hype up your favorite creator, and it just tells YouTube that they're well received and they're liked, and then YouTube will push me further out to the algorithm. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.